Welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. November is the time to not give up yet. Our gardens I know they're starting to wind down, but now's the time to divide. So look over your beds, evaluate things, and see where you still have space. It's possible that your irises are just getting so big that you need to divide. And also your sedum, your daylilies, lots of your perennials that just need to be divided. And it's always fun if you can bring a friend. So if she's got a shovel, she can take half of those things with her, save some money. Everybody wins. So November, I know it starts to get brisky, but that's the time to go and do some hard work. The summer, I lost a little energy, and that wasn't something that I really wanted to continue to do in the heat. But this is the time. It's dry. I live in zone 7A, so you still have time to cut things in half, put them in the ground again, or give them to a friend. So let's take this time and let's get to it. I'm going to first start by removing this plant. It's Amaryllis. I'm going to cut it back, and then I'm going to take its bulbs. Okay, I've got it taken down. So now let's get those bulbs. Gee whiz, look at the size of those. All right, we're gonna take it to its new location. Okay, I got those in. Those bulbs were huge, and I did raise it just a little bit from the rest of the area so that it wouldn't get soggy. I think it's gonna be a good show. They have about 1.5 foot leaf span, and I know it's in Sargents, but there is a few that are like, there's one here, and you can't even see it, but there's one here if it grows, and there's one little one here. So it'll gather a clump. They'll start doing little things, and it'll be different than the arbs. So not so stiff. This is a little bit more relaxing. And then I'll put something in front of that that's slightly lower, because those only bloom for about 3 weeks and they're done. So I'm going to take these two Black-Eyed Susans right up there. And now they're in place. One there and one there. That gives a bit of sunshine over here. I still have some room, maybe for some irises, or I don't know. Just a bunch of perennials. It's gonna look so pretty. It's gonna look really, really good. I'm so happy about this. I love perennials. You can divide, you can cut, you can... They all stay about the same size, about 18 inches or less. And the ones that are bigger, I just put towards the back, and the smaller ones go forward. We're gonna take out these heucheras. 1, 2, 3. I'll try to show them to you when they're with their full leaves and everything, just so you can see them. But normally I would cut these all the way back to the ground to move them. And then I'm gonna divide. I'm just gonna divide them in half. Put them right back where they go, leave one half there, give the other half to another area. So here's the area up on the hill. I've got the 3 holes dug, 1, 2, and 3 back here. And all the dirt is in the buckets, and I will mix it with some good dirt. That's what I always do. When I put a new plant in, I mix it with some good soil. And because I have just completely clay, you can see that it's pretty clay bound. So I'm just going to take these in half and put them back in. All right, so here's some of my tools. This is my makeshift table, so I'm going to cut on this. Got your gloves, I've got little tools, I've got shovels, Hori knife. I hate that name, but anyways, and some buckets for dirt, water can, and some beautiful dirt that I'm going to mix in. Okay, here's how this process works. So get a knife that looks sort of like this. Let me see if I can get it open. And it just opens like this. Pretty sharp, but it's gonna get this all taken care of. So basically, I'm just gonna cut it in half. So you're gonna find the middle of this, and I'm just gonna go down and cut it. All right, basically you can see that I've cut it down and I've just left some of its roots. See, I've left some of its roots and I've cut it just, you know, kind of like if you're cutting a cabbage. You just cut it right in half, and then I'm gonna put this one back, and this will be my new one. We'll see, it's got some new growth, so we'll see how it works. See, these are the smaller growths. So I'll cut it down by half. And because I don't want all the energy to go in here, I want it to be down here. But just for show, I'm gonna do this one with all of its leaves. But every time I cut anything back, you'll know the process. The process would be, before you do this, you cut all this back, and then you cut it in half, which I'm gonna do the most. If some of them are so big, like if you have these daylilies and they're just giant and you want to get them by thirds, you can do whatever will come out. But these heucheras I only got last year. All right, this is how it looks when you cut it up. I've just watered it, and these are the originals. I didn't bring my scissors down, so I'm not going to cut it right now, but I'll come back in the day and you can see all the little beautiful new growth is the inside. See that beautiful sort of coral, it's called coral berry. So the outsides are kind of rusty, but that is half of what it was. And I just put it out, cut it, put it back with some new dirt mixed in with the old. And I'll be doing the same with those, and we'll go and see how it looks up on the other bed. All right, we divided and conquered these just in half. Just split them in half. So here they are back, watered, and then in the exact same place. Now, go up here. This one's already in the shade, but there you go. There's 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm gonna need something lime green, I think. That, forget what that's called, Joseph's coat, something like that. Anyways, that is lime green, but everything is dark now. But I wanted some burgundy to match down there. And so I've got 3 of them up here. They look nice sized. So if you want to have perennials and you don't want to keep buying and buying and buying and buying, every couple of years divide. And then you can have a whole lot of plants, and you can also have them everywhere. So you remember I put this soft serve in, and it's a false cypress, really nice. These daylilies have gotten kind of out of control, and I think they've been here, well, they were here when I was here, so it's one of the original plants. But I don't really like them completely, but I do want it to circle this. So instead of having the hostas, which the bunnies have found, I may have to get rid of those too. But for right now, I'm going to move those. So then that's just where we move the heucheras. So I'm just going to put them kind of all over here. Because they like the shade, so I'm just going to put them back towards the house. So let's get these all in. I have everything in. All the hostas looking really fun. They're powering down, so they're not all that right now. There's the heuchera that we just planted. Everything's watered in. We'll just kind of see what grows. And there's the hydrangea in the back. I put the biggest hosta in the back. It's looking pretty good. Our next project is to take these out. There's my soft serve. And how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I have 8, and I want to make a nice circle around this soft serve. So I'm going to make some holes. I'm going to divide. I'm only going to divide in half, so I'm going to end up with 4. Let's see, I'm going to end up, well, this one's a baby one. So that one on the end is really small, so I'm just going to leave him whole. So I'll have 15 to deal with, and I'm going to make a nice, beautiful circle. And this is going to get 4 feet, so I'm not going to want to get too close, but for now, it's empty, so might as well do something. So here we go. All right, we're finally done. A nice circle all the way around. And normally, if you're going to do this and divide in the fall, you want to just cut all the leaves back to 0 so that they can put their energies into the root. I will be doing that later. I just wanted to show you because you really can't see anything if you leave it in the stump. So this corner is good. On to the next one. All right, I got all those done. Came around to this side, and I had, this is how it's supposed to look when you put them in. You cut the whole top off. So there's just like little cut off daylilies. So anyways, there's about 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 going down here. So that goes right into my little shed. And then come over here. There's where we put all our hostas. They're looking really good. They've perked up. So that's a good area for them. And then I had some more daylilies that I just put across here. So looking back. So they'll line all of this. And they'll line all this and all this. So that looks really good. Then I did find a few volunteers. There's one there, and there's one there. And those are both perennial salvias. So if they live, I'll have some salvia in this bed. All right, so what's the next thing we're gonna do? Come over here. And I have this plant. This is a euonymus that's about 4 by 4, and I'm gonna put it right where the honeysuckle was. So that'll be not so tall, but a little bit of space. And I found this for half price, so look at it. It's really pretty. So I want to get this in the ground. That's next. All right, so I got that euonymus in. It's a variegated 4 by 4. It's just going to take over this area. I love it. So because that's going to get pretty big, I'm going to save some room. Maybe I'll put a few little things here. But the next thing we're going to do is, this one is a yellow red hot poker, and these are all orange. So I'm going to take him out and put him right in here so that it'll blend in with these. These are all yellow hot pokers. So kind of do a match with them. And this is the last remaining one. So I'm going to get this out and bring it over. I'm actually going to cut it back though first. I think it's so much easier. So I've already shown you guys what it looks like at this point. But I need to cut those back too because I don't want all the energy. You see how it's turning yellow? I don't want all the energy going to the leaves. It's done and it needs a rest. So cut this back and get it over. Okay, we've taken care of the plant, got rid of it, smoothed it over. There's another plant that we did. That's the euonymus. Cut back some of my red hot pokers. So let's see where we put the yellow hot poker. I stuck one here and I stuck one there. So that's going to fill in really nice. And then you can see I put right there and there. That has salvia. Those are extras. And then you guys have already seen it in another film that I did. I'll link it up. I did all the irises, so I've already got a film where you could see how to chop them back and put them in. So anyways, I've got 3 sets of those. So I have this plant, my Blue Point juniper, and it is going right in that hole. So let's see. Always stop and take a look at things. Brandywine maple. So pretty, I love it. Now this corner looks pretty good. I think maybe just a few things. Maybe some creeping phlox, and this corner is going to be beautiful. We got to remember that this guy is going to get, and fill this whole area, he's going to get about 4 feet wide. So I probably will take these out a little later, but for now he's so small, you need some interest. So some phlox would be really good right here, since I'm going all the way up with phlox. That's what I'm lining the area with. Okay, so I think this bed is pretty full, because remember, even though I cut this back, it's going to get as big as this. So it's going to cover this. That one's going to cover that area. Then I've got some salvia, 2 salvias. So they're going to be good. I may be able to fit something right there, but that's about it. Our next project is putting in all the Tuscarora crepe myrtles all the way down. My husband is digging the holes while I'm mixing the dirt, and I will be putting in all the plants. So let's start with the first one, right there. All right, the first one is planted and it's in. So let's go to the next one. All right, I got these Tuscaroras in and done. I'll put mulch on a little later. I want to water a few times. So here is the row, and they are all done. So this is going to be fun. 15 to 20 feet high. There's 2 over there. You can't barely see them there and there. And it's going to be just like this. This one will be getting about 25 feet. 15, okay. They always say 15 feet and then they grow 20 to 25. So I'm expecting about 25, but this is probably 15 feet right now. So they're going to be dainty little guys all the way up. And then the 2 cherries. So I'm loving that. So I want to show off some new things that I did this week, and I didn't divide, but I just put them in. So there is the 2 black-eyed Susans. I really like it. It's my perennial garden in the Waynesburg. Really nice. A few pansies put in. A few more pansies. Pansies. And then we're in the English garden. I put in the amaryllis, and they are in a nice, there actually is 2 lines. The smaller ones are in the front. So those are going to look good. Okay, and then coming down here, I did put in the irises. The one thing that you want to have is I've got a 3 set of irises. I like drifts. So you see this drifts of Autumn Joy? That looks so good. And then you've got the yellow hot pokers. So when you have a lot of them, they give you a lot of splash. So do drifts if you can. And here is my drift of coneflowers, a little drift of liriope, and here's the 3 heucheras that I cut in half. So going down the hill, okay, I had a bunch of irises here, and I just put 10 back in each. About 10, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so okay, forget it, 8. So there's 8 here, and then back here, they're a little smaller, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, there's 12 of them over there. So they're going to look really good. There's the other heucheras that I took in half, and I left the other ones exactly where they were. And I do need to divide these, so I still think I am going to do it, but I probably won't show it. I'm just going to do it, get it done real quick. Then over here, you have my drift, and then I have lamb's ear here, lamb's ear up there, and more irises. So you're gonna have a splash of irises all over. And then I put my Blue Point juniper right on the corner. He's gonna get 5 by 8, 8 high. So, but it's gonna take a little while. So I have plenty of time to put some phlox here or something around him, but he's gonna take this whole area. And then I put more yellow hot pokers to just have this drift all in this area, not in other areas. Okay, and then I put a drift of, and you can't really even see them, barely, boom, 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 daylilies. And then you can see back here all the hostas, tons of hostas starting there all the way down, hydrangea, hosta, 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 hosta. So now they're back in the shade and they should do well. And then I have a drift, more of the daylilies. So daylily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be good. And then over in the south garden, I've got more irises that I planted. And then there's a lot of irises. I still have more irises, but I don't know where I'm going to put them right now. So you got a drift of these. Those are daylilies. The daylilies I cut back. Then the soft serve false cypress. That's hard to say. We planted all of my Tuscarora crepe myrtles. So that's done. That's done. That, all the way up. We did all those. They're very, very tiny. You can barely see them, but I can see them. They're already in, and I'm going to put mulch on them, and they'll be done. Okay, so turning around at the south. So that's where I took out one of the yellow hot pokers. I wanted them all to be together because these are red, well, they're actually orangish, but they were called red hot pokers. And then I put in euonymus, that's a variegated. That'll grow 4 by 4, and these will grow 10, so it's gonna look good. This garden is a lot more set. Okay, and then up on the other south, very nice, clean, neat. You've got your 4 red hot pokers, and then you have your autumn dioecitum. And then up there you have golden globe. I hope he's not dying. I hope he's just getting golden. So I put him on the edge. Instead, I took out the irises, the Japanese irises. I just didn't like them. And then right behind that is a juniper, a creeping juniper. It's going to look so good. So the golden globe is going to get 4 by 4, and it's going to take over this whole corner, which I really like. More evergreens, y'all, for winter interest. And then I think irises have a lot of interest. So here is a sergeant row of more irises. I have the irises coming out of the I divided them, and I know they're in a row, but they'll get clumpy and they'll get big and you won't see that row anymore. There's my juniper that I put in last year. So all these irises are new. I did take out 2 red hot pokers I really didn't like. So I'm gonna see what this drift looks like. And then maybe in the back, I may put the denim and lace, Russian sage, because this is the west side. I don't even know how these irises will do, but last time they got mushy from too much water. So I'm gonna see how they do over here. Okay, my stars. This is a sensation. Okay, that's going to be moved, and it's going to be over in the drift of English autumn dioecitums, so that they're a little bit more impressive. He looks a little lonely. And then this phenomenal lavender plant, my goodness, he's already 2.5 feet. And I'm supposed to get 4 feet, so he'll just go right under this window, as well as this one going under this window. So I think right here I'll put a denim and lace Russian sage, because these just they're nice and blue. I really like their foliage, but they're not very impressive flower wise. And I think the Russian sage will have purple flowers all the time. Plus my irises will be in the spring, and I'll have to think of something I want to have in the front. This fig tree is wonderful, which I planted early. Oh, here's some more irises too. There's irises everywhere. Gotta figure out where to put them. I still have a lot more to do. The fig tree does not have any figs because it dies to the ground every year. So I'm very disappointed, even though it said zone 6. I tried it. I'm in zone 7. You would think that it would just survive, but it doesn't. It dies all the way to the ground and it starts all over again. But it has pretty leaves, so I'm just going to leave it there. It's in the corner. It's the hottest spot of my whole garden. So I'm hoping that he'll survive. This time I'm not going to go ahead and baby him. He must survive. Now you put together these pots. I hope this survives in the wintertime, but I don't really know what it is, and it may just, as soon as a good frost comes, it'll die. So, we'll see. But I really like how it matches that. Isn't that pretty? Coming from the Williamsburg garden down to the pump garden, I put in more irises here. And then there is there, kind of in between all of these sedum. And then we went down to the end of the pump. I'll have a bunch of them here. You can always remove things, take things out. These are going to grow in beautifully with all these sedum and red hot poker. Just going to fill up this bed. There's a few here, 5, along with the juniper and the Mr. Bowling Ball. It's gonna look good. All right, we did a good job. So keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.